Welcome to BioChat Collective, where today we'll be shining a light on educational injustices that serve as barriers in biology fields, and introducing you to the work of Dr. Joseph Graves, a prominent figure in this discussion. I'm Evan, and I'll be leading us through today's topic. When we talk about educational injustices, we refer to systematic barriers that hinder access to quality education and opportunities. These injustices can take many forms, such as economic disparities, lack of representation in faculty, and limited access to mentorship. According to Dr. Graves, these barriers can significantly impact aspiring scientists. For example, students from underrepresented backgrounds often face challenges such as limited financial resources, which can affect their ability to engage in research opportunities or pursue advanced degrees. This leads to a lack of diversity in the field of biology, which ultimately affects the quality of research and innovation in science.
I can take it from here, Evan. My name is Sophia, and I will explain the meaning behind Dr. Graves' statistics. Now, you are probably wondering why Dr. Graves, an evolutionary biologist, would even consider the aspect of educational injustices and the lack of representation of minority groups among faculty. Regarding Graves' article, The Belly of the Beast, the first thing I saw was not words or a phrase, but an image, and that image was his own face. Dr. Graves was not white, but that does not mean he was not successful or not hardworking. He was African American, yet he was ambitious in his work. First, he points out that African American graduate applicants have the most difficulties when it comes to pursuing careers. From 1994 to 2001, Graves states that there has been a general increase in the number of biology PhDs awarded to African Americans before another decline in 2001. The highest score in 2001, where the percent rose to 3.5%. However, Graves says that they have the most trouble being represented in evolutionary biology. In fact, it is general that of all minorities, African Americans are the least in number to be awarded with a PhD. These may be pieces of the unwritten rules that Graves wrote in about the belly of the beast, as it discusses the forms of racism that are left unnoticed by many.
Thanks, Sophia. My name is Katie, and I will now be diving into the remarkable path of Dr. Graves, a tenured professor whose story exemplifies resilience, determination, and the importance of mentorship in navigating the often complex academic landscape. Dr. Graves' transition from an undergraduate student to a tenured professor is not just a personal triumph, but it also reflects the many challenges that many face in particularly minority students. He encountered a landscape that frequently lacks the support necessary for underrepresented groups, shedding a light on a critical issue in higher education. Despite facing systematic barriers and biases, Dr. Graves persevered, achieving remarkable milestones in his research, scholarships, and publications. His dedication to advancing the understanding of race and genetics has not only earned him numerous accolades, but has also established him as a leading voice in the scientific community. I believe that his story serves as a powerful rule for aspiring scientists and researchers, demonstrating that with determination and commitment, it is possible to overcome adversity and make a meaningful impact in one's field. Moreover, one of the most enlightening aspects of Dr. Graves' perspectives is his discussion about the so-called unwritten rules in academia. These implicit norms and expectations are rarely discussed, but are crucial in shaping academic institution success. For example, understanding how to network effectively, apply for grants, or navigate the publication process can be overwhelming for those without guidance. Unfortunately, many students may not realize that these rules exist until they struggle to comply with them. This knowledge gap can create significant disparities, allowing those already in the loop to flourish while others are left behind. Dr. Graves emphasizes that these unwritten rules can create formidable barriers, especially for underrepresented groups. Without a clear understanding of these dynamics, advancing in academia can feel like an uphill battle. He advocates for greater transparency and mentorship to assist all scholars, particularly those from marginalized backgrounds, overcome these hidden challenges. In closing for this section, Dr. Graves' journey is a powerful reminder of the importance of mentorship and supportive networks in academia. We can help pave the way for future scholars to thrive by fostering transparency and understanding of these unwritten rules.
Hi, my name is Brandon, and after learning about Dr. Graves and his career path, I better understand his perspectives on society, the scientific community, and evolutionary biology. I found that his core motivations and his consistent work ethic stood out the most about him. He initially set foot on this journey because of his early interest in biology and began by pursuing answers to his big three questions. What is the origin of the universe? What is the origin of life? And what is the purpose of human life? He then went on to face challenges in the postdoctoral realm of research and academic job field, where he was looked at differently for being a minority. He found it harder to achieve the things he wanted to do because of the color of his skin rather than his actual work. I appreciated the blunt honesty that he showcased about this issue in his writing found in The Belly of the Beast, where he talked about his harsh reality of trying to traverse towards being a tenured professor in biology. He gives out great pointers on what to do, what to look for, and how to generally go about being a professional scientist without sugarcoating anything he's learned about success in his career path. With Sophia and Katie mentioning his unwritten rules, I also found them valuable as they are aspects of academia you wouldn't initially think or look for when starting out, but would definitely pay off if taken into early consideration. This is a unique way of looking at the scientific community because I've never really seen this kind of light shine on this type of workplace. I assume not all successful scientists will talk about this since they were most likely not personally affected by these circumstances or don't see it as important as someone on the short end of the stick. Knowing that there is a scientist who was able to endure all of this to reach his goals is inspiring to me, but facing these things wasn't easy and took a toll on his mental health. Dr. Graves struggled with depression throughout his academic career and eventually sought treatment, which may have saved his life. He's aware of data on the raising rates of depression present in America and of African Americans in higher socioeconomic categories being more prone to stress. So he has made an effort to help others with his story. He created the unwritten rules to save readers the stress and pain he dealt with to allow them to be more productive, which was something he wished he would have done in the beginning of his career. I look up to the fact that he openly discusses what he's seen on his path to accomplishment.
When I searched up Dr. Graves on Google Scholar by his full name, the most common item or topic that shows up in his works has something to do with the aspect of race. Because of this, we assume that the aspect of race itself and the possibility the way he or significant people in his life have been treated due to their racial, ethnic, or other minority statuses have greatly impacted his life. Lastly, we have some questions for Dr. Graves to answer, with one being if he believes that the concept of race itself has anything to do with evolution and biology, or if it is something that is solely made by society. As far as we know, race is not a tangible thing or quality people sense, but rather an idea constructed by human minds, and the aspect of race is always different for each individual. We would like to know how Dr. Graves decided to study and discuss about race. Has he taken any ethnic studies classes? Is his decision to study race a personal rather than academic choice? I remember that in an ethnic studies class, the instructor exposed us to a documentary that asked if race has anything to do with biology and evolution. It started off by saying that the variation in genetics among humans is negligible. Even though there is a wide spectrum of skin color, eye color, hair color and type, bone structure, accent, metabolism, or even differences in skills and mindsets, humans are still human. Later in the documentary, it was stated that historically, scientists studied the different features of people, and is when society decides to make race an excuse for any social injustice, leading to the ones deemed lowly to have poor qualities of life, including health and poverty. I think it is good that we know about his personal life in addition to just being a scientist, because we get more chances to know who he is, what he wants to stand for, and what changes in our world he wants to see.
To wrap up, Dr. Joe Graves' career is a great example of how mentorship and collaboration shaped the journey to becoming a tenured professor. His time working with Dr. Lenski on the E. coli project was a pivotal step, allowing him to grow as a researcher and solidify his place in the scientific community. Dr. Graves' path from undergraduate to postdoc to an assistant professor and finally tenured professor shows the dedication and persistence required in academia. Along the way, he not only advanced his career, but also contributed to groundbreaking research that still influences the field. Thanks for joining us today as we explored the inspiring journey of Dr. Joe Graves. Until next time, keep learning and stay inspired.